Oh, good morning. We're doing it live, and Trump is now pushing LSD type drugs on America. You got to understand something. I am so pissed off right now at this Trump. Trump is such a piece of shit. You got to understand something. The reason why America has failed, why America has become such a toilet, is because of psychedelic drugs. That's one of the main reasons. That's why America is a shithole. That's why the U.S. is a shithole, is because of psychedelic drugs that have been pushed by the CIA since the 1950s and 60s. And here we have Trump. He's expanding the program, Mr. Operation Warp Speed. Okay, let me tell you something. The reason why America is a toilet is because of marijuana, LSD, all these different psychedelic drugs, crystal meth also, which isn't psychedelic. But see, this is why America is a shithole. See, it's because of the drugs. And so one of the things that you have to understand is the reason why you have all these guys that are ex-military guys, these veterans, and they end up suicidal is because they're taking drugs. They're taking these drugs that are being pushed by the VA, and they're smoking marijuana, which causes suicidal ideation. You see, so back in the old days, when marijuana wasn't as potent, it still caused psychosis. It causes schizophrenia, and so does LSD. Look, LSD causes schizophrenia. Mushrooms cause schizophrenia. Marijuana causes schizophrenia. Why? Because what it does is it splits your mind. And you have one part of your mind that's trying to act normal, and you have another part of your mind that's totally out of control. You see? And this is what causes the suicidal ideation, right? Trump is pushing LSD type of drugs, or whatever, however you want to call it. This whole sector of drugs is based on this thing where they are able to cut off communication in your brain that keeps you your mind integral. In other words, it's a mind splitter. It's a mind splitter. Like LSD is a mind splitter. It splits your mind. Marijuana today is a mind splitter. It always kind of was, but it's even worse now than ever because the potency. And so it's designed to split your mind. It's designed to make you schizophrenic, and the suicidal ideation is caused by the drugs. Now, if you are a perfectly normal person, okay, you're happy-go-lucky guy, and you smoke some marijuana, you could go into a full psychotic break and have suicidal ideation within seconds. Same with LSD, same with all these other drugs, because it splits your mind. And then what happens is there's a mechanism of the mind where you get an idea on something that you shouldn't do, and then that becomes the obsession not to think about that or not to do that thing. And then you keep thinking it, and then you keep thinking it, and then you keep thinking it, right? It's caused by the drug. It's caused I don't want to go into every detail of it, but it's essentially caused by the drugs. And so when you have these VA people, when you have these VA people that are these veterans that go to the VA, they get put on some other thing, it can cause suicidal ideation. It's all caused by this scum that's over in Washington, D.C., pushing all this through the FDA. And who does Donald Trump say, oh, I talked to Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan is a fucking scumbag. Joe Rogan is a degenerate. You look at the fucking trash that Joe Rogan has on his show, and it's fucking CIA propaganda. Let me tell you this. That's why I've been telling you this whole time. Alex Jones, Joe Rogan, Tucker Carlson, they've always pushed psychedelics. They've always pushed psychedelics. They're trash. What did you say? Grateful Dead, the largest mafia, has LSD, has the mind split imagery in their logo. Yeah, it's a mind splitter. You have to understand that these drugs are mind splitters. No matter how normal you are regularly, well, that's why you don't take them. Because what happens is it once you take that thing, there's a mechanism that takes over your nervous system. It's basically a nerve agent. Let me put it this way: marijuana today is a weapons grade nerve agent. LSD is a weapons grade nerve agent. It's designed to give you schizophrenia. It's designed to give you panic disorders. It's designed to make you insane. It's literally designed to cause mental illness. And if you look at America and why America is a gigantic fucking toilet, it's because of these drugs. And this is who Mr. Operation Warp Speed is pushing more of it. No, it is. No, these drugs. No, you got to understand. You think because maybe you had a good time on a drug that it's not not designed to kill you. It is. See, you can have a good time on alcohol, but it's still designed. The alcohol will destroy your liver. I drink once in a while, but I'm just saying. It's actually, but alcohol is not a mind splitter. It doesn't cause schizophrenia. You see, LSD causes schizophrenia. And Prozac causes schizophrenia, and marijuana causes schizophrenia. If you smoke marijuana, you become schizophrenic, at least for a short time, because because there's one part of your mind that's going through some fucking loop, and it could be that it could be the thing where here's what happens. There's like receptors in your brain, because your body is based on it's a neurological system which is electronic. It's chemicals and electronic, and so the drugs will shut off a sensor. It's actually designed to shut off a sensor so that you go in and out of consciousness, but not like when you faint, but almost like you're going in and out of consciousness but just through the sensor. So you go out of consciousness and you come back into consciousness. Then you go out of consciousness, you come back into consciousness. You go out of consciousness, you come back into consciousness. And it's all done through an electrical sensor, you see? And so as this has happened, so now you've lost control of your thinking pattern, right? And so when you get somebody who has, like, I'll give you an example, suicidal ideation, that's what Trump brought up. It's caused by the drugs. And what happens is, because people take them and then they get it and then they tell someone what's happening. And then the person goes, oh, well, we need to secure you and put you on these other drugs. And then they never come out of it. They're just stuck on drugs now. And Trump's pushing more of this. Did you see Bannon pissed himself on the stage the other day? Ketamine therapy. I did not see that, but ketamine. Okay, look. You know, all these transsexuals, these like transsexual prostitutes that read books to kids in the libraries. It's a ketamine cult. It's a ketamine cult. PCP, yeah, PCP is another one. PCP, LSD, marijuana. Marijuana causes panic disorder, schizophrenia. Even on a small scale, you got to examine. When you see someone who's totally out of their mind and they're schizophrenic, right? Think of, there's different degrees of schizophrenia. Once you smoke marijuana, you just induce yourself into a degree of schizophrenia. Depending on how much, if you take LSD, now you're inducting yourself into schizophrenia and into weird panic disorders, because it attacks your central nervous system. Now, let me tell you what to do. You could, if you know somebody, or if you've taken a drug and you end up with some kind of panic disorder or something like that, the best thing you can do is, you're going to have to just get through the bad experience, and then you need to get on magnesium. You need to take magnesium. Magnesium will calm a panic disorder. And magnesium will take the edge off of the schizophrenia that's induced by the LSD, marijuana, or whatever else. Donald Trump, the fucking shitbag. Literally, that guy is literally dog shit. But let me go back to this. So magnesium will take the edge off of a bad trip, because magnesium feeds your nervous system. And when you smoke marijuana, or you take LSD, or you take whatever, any of these mind splitter, schizophrenia inducing drugs, it attacks your nervous system, and now your nervous system is in shock. Okay, your nervous system goes into shock, and so it needs nutrients that's going to supply it with what it needs in order to maintain itself, because now it's like your nervous system basically goes into a state of complete psychosis. So if you take magnesium, the magnesium will calm that down, and you'll go from being literally within a short period of time, you can go into being a panicky. Everywhere you go, you're panicky, and you go to the you go to the grocery store, and you're the panicky guy, and you go you're wherever you go, you're the guy that's having a panic disorder. You go from that to being calm, and your nervous system's calm, and because you got to understand, these drugs are super dangerous. And Donald Trump literally Donald Trump's, he wants to have a war with Iran. He wants to have a war with Russia. He wants to have a war with China. He doesn't have a population to do that. What's he done to his population? He's hooked. He wants to push schizophrenia drugs on them to make everyone mentally ill. He wants to push these vaccines, which, are super good, and they don't cause death or anything. They don't cause you to get like the super cancer that killed a bunch of my friends. And you know what I mean? It doesn't, this is Donald Trump. The guy is a complete pile of dog shit, literally a pile of dog shit. He's a literal pile of shit. What'd you say? Magnesium are the brake of nervous system, glutamine, calcium, gas. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, anyway. So you're talking about Adderall and the Zoomer generation, right? All these drugs totally destroy your body and destroy your endocrine system. It destroys your endocrine system. It destroys your body. It makes you insane. What Donald Trump should be, and when you get these guys that come back from the wars and they get put on these drugs, or they already take drugs, and then they get put on more drugs, and then they've got the suicidal ideation. Let me give you an example. Doesn't mean you want to kill yourself. It does not mean you want to kill yourself. If you or a loved one get suicidal ideation from taking a drug, it doesn't mean they want to kill themselves. It means they keep thinking about killing themselves. You see the difference? In other words, it's a repeating idea. It just goes over and over and over. And every time they go in and out of the consciousness that I was telling you about, because they go out and they come in, they go out and they come in. It's the receptor being blocked, but it goes in waves, right? And so it speeds up when the drug peaks, it gets really intense, and then it goes and then it peels off and it slows down, but then it still repeats. So then they get this repeating suicidal thought. It doesn't mean they want to kill themselves. It means they can't stop thinking about it. So it just repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats. And it will do that until the drug wears off. Unless they take a bunch of other drugs, because now they're in the psychiatric hospital, right? But if they just stop taking the drug, that'll wear off. And then what you want to do is, as you're coming off that stuff, you want to take magnesium. So all these drugs that they're pushing, the ketamine, the LSD, the marijuana, all that stuff, it destroys your endocrine system. And then it destroys it destroys your mind, it destroys your endocrine system, and it makes you a non-functional human being, so you can't function in society. And this is all run by the AI group of AI perverts, the Tucker Carlson's sponsors that run Palantir and run Google and run Silicon Valley. It's this group. There's something about this tech group. These tech nerds and the drugs and the sexual deviancy. That's the ruling thing that's what this planet is going to be. It's going to be a gigantic prison run by these weird tech perverts that are like sick people that like gays that want to be around babies and stuff. And they take these drugs. And this is who Donald Trump works for. And this is why I'm telling you, and I've told you this the whole time, is that Joe Rogan is a complete piece of trash. Joe Rogan belongs in a prison. If I was being nice, he belongs in a prison. I will dance the day that Joe Rogan drops dead. I will do a dance. I will dance for you here in the studio, in the Brian Nato Show studio. I will do a dance because he pushes this shit. You need to take the ayahuasca thing and go see the elves and it's mental illness. It helps that I never had faith in Trump except to send USA into bankruptcy and probably balkanization. No kidding. No kidding. Anyway, so let me just sum up this video because I don't want this. I want people to get help, right? Here's what you need to do as a human being if you want to be alive. Number one, here's what I do. I do drink alcohol a little bit. Of course, that doesn't cause schizophrenia. It's not good for you. And I've actually, I kind of do it when I'm like really working hard. I get tired. I want to have a beer. But like right now, I'm on some really good diet, high proteins like meat. Like I eat red meat and yogurt and like good fats. And I take some supplements, but I don't overdo it. I just take I have a really good daily vitamin kit that I take that I get from a company that's amazing. And they make a vitamin. It's got all the vitamins and minerals for like every day. Take that because you need your hormones in balance. Like because now I'm getting back into like fitness, right? Because I always do my running, but now I'm also doing weightlifting. So you want to have a good diet. You need protein and fats to build muscle, and also the minerals, the vitamins and minerals to do everything else for your hormonal system. Vitamins and minerals basically run your hormone system, and then the protein builds the muscle and all the tendons and everything else that you need to stay alive. And so that's not too complicated. And then weightlifting is good, some cardio is good, and then that's on the physical end of it. So you want to get like low fat, high protein, not fat, I'm sorry, low carb. Fats are good. You don't want to go low fat. You want to do like I have no fat on my body at all, hardly anymore. And I do a lot of fats. I do fats and protein and vitamins, and I stay healthy, and I go running and I lift weights, not super heavy, but I do like just weights to work the muscles, just do the full range of motion of the muscles. And then the other thing is you want to get your mind in the right place, and that is by sticking with the truth. You see, when you get into deviancy or different things, then you're getting away from your natural state. You want to be in the natural state. Theos, what is it called? What it's called theosis, to become like theos. Theosis, right? And theos is known through the logos, which is God's truth, and through the Holy Spirit, which is the goodness, the feeling of goodness that comes from theos. And so you want to be in a condition where you're going to have a spirit of goodness and also the truth in your mind. And so that, along with physical fitness and eating right, good fats, protein, vitamins, that'll keep you strong and healthy. And possibly some cases related to mental illness and just autoimmune response can cause severe symptoms. Oh yeah, there's a lot of things that can cause that. And so the thing is, you want to get close. You want to get as close to your natural state as possible. The more you deviate into these dangerous drugs or bad diets, and like there's tons of garbage they sell even at the grocery store that'll cause you to get sick and become mentally ill because you don't have the nutrients. So you need, if I was going to have a triage for America, because this is actually what it needs. If I was the president and I wanted to actually do something for America, the first thing I would do is, with all these people that are suffering out there, is clean up the diet and get everybody. I would make it so there's just so much cattle grown in America, raised wild out roaming around, that there's just so much cattle that milk and cheese and meat would be affordable, so that everybody would have this really good high protein, good fat diet. And then chickens and eggs are good too, and all that stuff. And then the other thing is you want to have, and then you want to have instead of pharmaceutical companies making all these dangerous, mind-splitting, schizophrenic, suicide-inducing drugs, instead of that, you'd have the pharmaceutical companies focus on making vitamins and nutrients that are high quality. And then instead of spending billions of dollars on exterminating the Palestinians for a bunch of satanic rabbis, instead of that, you use the money to try and rehabilitate your own population that's been completely decimated through bad diet, through drugs, and through all the degeneracy pushed by the people in Hollywood and the people in Silicon Valley and all the scum podcasters like Joe Rogan and the JD Vance group, right? The JD Vance group. Where did Trump just go the other day? Did he go to TPUSA? The people that shot Charlie Kirk, the people that killed Charlie Kirk. That's where Trump goes. That's where JD Vance goes. And Tucker Carlson's in on that whole thing. And he's a scammer. It's a big confidence game. He's an expert on interreligious conflicts in the Middle Age Europe. I do like E. Michael Jones. He talks about logos. In fact, I'm not Catholic, and I criticize the Pope a lot, but I do like authentic Christianity. And so E. Michael Jones is one of the first people that I ever heard really mention the logos, and that's why I got into even looking into it. And I realized it went back to the Greeks and to Athens and how that whole fits into the whole thing, and how the early Israelites or the early Judeans used this Greek term of the logos to explain some of their books of the Old Testament. And then that's why in the New Testament, Jesus is called the Logos, which is really interesting. So yeah, he does talk about that. And I'm really glad that he talks about that, because whether you're Catholic or Roman Catholic or not, that term of the Logos is the centerpiece of Christianity. So anyway, thanks for listening to my rant here. And really, everybody needs to do whatever they can to resist this satanic push by Donald Trump to literally further destroy our civilization with these mind-bending, mind-splitting, schizophrenic inducing, suicide-inducing drugs. And instead, we need healthy. We need look, if RFK is pushing this, he's part of the problem. But look who he's connected to: Rabbi Shmuley, right? Rabbi Shmuley and RFK and Joe Rogan. See, it's a big scumbag pile. It's a pile of degenerate scum. And even if they push something good, like, oh, these vitamins are good too, but also take the ketamine and take the mind-splitting mushroom pills and all this other garbage. These people are trash, and they're the reason why America is garbage today and will not survive into the future. I live in Orange County. There's where's all the young American boys and girls? Where are they at? Where are they at? Where's all the young American youth? They're gone. It's all foreigners now. They've destroyed our civilization, and they just keep doing it by pushing all these drugs. The dominatrix who used ketamine to turn Wachowski brothers trans or X. Yeah, that stuff's super bad. Anyway, I'm so pissed off. I've any shred of sympathy I ever had for Donald Trump is gone. I just want that person to not exist anymore. Okay, see you later. Thanks for listening.